you doing, sweet peas? This is video number 2 in reference to deconstructing gang stalking. I make these videos if you want to know the truth, and I don't know if this is going to sound bushy or whooshy or whatever, but I make these videos because I love you. Okay? Targeted individuals, especially the isolated ones, never hear that. Because once you get to a place where these gang stalking, organized stalking expeditions take you to, where you're totally isolated, more than likely homeless, and if viewers are seeing this for the first time, they don't know anything about organized stalking or gang stalking. It's not stalking by gangs, even though gang members can be intimidated, colluded with, bribed with, or bought off to participate in it. But it's mostly managed and perpetrated by organized crime members that are in the system. Getting back to my fellow targets. Understand this. My name is Leslie Williams. I am in San Diego, California, and I am a targeted individual. I'm not involved in any illegal activity whatsoever or any criminal activity whatsoever. I am not crazy in any way, shape, or form. I am not mentally ill at all, and I am not a threat to myself or others. I am an extremely experienced targeted individual and a very, very, very educated individual in reference to how these expeditions operate. And I also took extensive college courses for years in reference to electrical engineering. I studied the brain extensively for years, and I also took a lot of psychology courses. So my education, my own personal education, is totally apropos when it comes to understanding how these expeditions operate. Yes, I'm in San Diego, California. My name is Leslie Williams. If you are a targeted individual, a true bona fide targeted individual, I want to say right now to you, I love you. You matter. You really matter. You are a person. Never forget who you are. Never forget who you are and who you were before this expedition starts. And if you are having memory problems, that is because of the technological resources that are attached to these expeditions. Yes. Okay, so always remember this when you lay your head down at night by yourself, when you're alone, if you're frightened, if you feel that your life no longer has any value, remember that I love you. I sincerely love you. Okay, and I want you to know that you are a worthy person. Always remember this. If you are being called names, if you are being harassed, if you are being assaulted, if you are being threatened, understand this and be clear. Remember who you are. Remember that this is not about because of who you are or anything that you have done. This is about them. They are criminals. Okay? So never let them make you think that you are any less of a person than what you are, or that you're not worthy of anything. Okay, in reference to everything that is happening to you is because they're the criminals. Okay? So always know this and always remember this. At the end of the day, smile. Hug yourself. Okay? And if you can get a chance, you know, go to the internet. Listen to things online that are self-affirming. You know, like good Bible verses. Or if you're Muslim and this is happening to you, read your Quran. If you're Hindu and this is happening to you, you know, read your books of faith. My name is Leslie Williams. I make these videos in order to be able to try and help targeted individuals and the public at large to understand what is happening to targeted individuals so they can deconstruct some of the most heinous crimes that have ever been perpetrated towards innocent human beings. And I'm here today to tell you, fellow American citizens and fellow targeted individuals, these people are so criminal they will even target the children of targets, including infants. So if you think to yourself, how can all this be happening at the end of, by the time you reach the end of this video, and the video that this one is stemming from, understand this. If you look at that video in reference to the statements and the descriptions and the themes of what I state and the supporting material that I describe, once you research it, you will come to understand that us targeted individuals are subject to some of the most heinous crimes that have ever been perpetrated towards human beings in human history. Literally. I'm in San Diego, California. My name is Leslie Williams. I make these videos to inform, to expose the truth concerning the factual realities of these organized stalking, gang stalking expeditions, the methods and tactics used, so targeted individuals can deconstruct about what's happening to them. And one of the purposes of this video is to be able to inform you how libraries are being used, university campuses are being used, and how businesses are being used. Now, in order for you to understand this, and to help viewers understand how all this can be perpetrated towards a target, is to help you understand that this is organized crime that is in the system, that has extremely sophisticated technology, that is using their employment description to perpetrate these crimes and protect them. It is also using their employment description to notify the business community, universities, colleges, libraries, anywhere a target goes. These employment descriptions have what is known as certain law enforcement tools that are being criminally and illegally used. Yes, at the federal, state, and local level, it's called the community notification. It's also called the offender's notification. And what I want to help the public in general understand and targeted individuals understand is that when these notifications are being used concerning you and to aid and abet in the targeting of you and concerning the target, it's because it's being illegally and criminally used. And how the public is being notified through these notification resources, total lies are told about the target. Because it's the only way that the public in general could be motivated to harass an innocent person. Go to YouTube and type in "Listen to a Stranger" for a preliminary introduction in reference to how easy it is to dupe anybody in the community to do specific things based on lies and the prestige of a badge, whether it be a real one or a fake one. I make these videos to inform, to expose the truth. The business community, what you got to understand here is that the business community have syndicated members in them, and they are also in positions to where, since they're being told to do certain things towards people who they've been told lies to, or because they just do it because they're told to do it, they're going to want to protect their butt, they're going to want to protect their jobs, and the business is going to want to protect its business in reference to whether it's a franchise or independently owned. And the property owners that these businesses are on, they're going to make sure that they remain protected as well, because these are crimes that are happening towards a target. At the human rights violation level, at the felony level, and at the misdemeanor level. Okay? So the property owner, once they get wind of it that it's happening, they're going to want to protect their butts, so they're going to use their paid security services to aid and abet the businesses. So this is all protected at the end of the day. At the federal and state and local level, and some of the technological resources that a targeted individual experiences was developed by the military. Make no mistake about it. Now that's how, when a targeted individual goes into a business. This video in part is about staged events. Staged events are designed in order to frame the situation, to frame the result. One of the reasons why one of the reasons why they can motivate a target to move from place to place after a target has been evicted from their home, either by getting banksters and mortgage companies to get on board in these campaigns, because mortgage co-opting and land co-opting and property co-opting is one of the motivations of these crimes. Understand this. If you're a family and you're being targeted, or a mother or father is being targeted, they will eventually come after your spouse, your children, and your property, because that's what this is all about. You can go to YouTube and type in gang stalking and Randy Quaid. Look what happened to him and his wife. And who the responsible parties were, and how much the police protected them. And how much the police didn't protect them. So, getting back to the business community, the whole goal, at least 92% of all targeted individuals are made homeless, because it helps aid and abet in the eventual racketeering of the actual even target and the human trafficking of them. And if you're a family and this is happening to you, or if you're a single parent and this is happening to you, or if you have legal custody of an individual who might be mentally disabled or physically disabled, and you're being targeted, they're going after you to get you, your property, and the person you have probate control of. Because this is organized crime in the system that is syndicated to probate attorneys, probate judges, and they have also set up syndicated run organized crime group homes and foster care homes. I'm in San Diego, California. My name is Leslie Williams. These expeditions are going on in every single city and state in the United States, and they are also happening in other countries as well. And they operate on the same method of templates of harassment and protocols in order to take you, physically you, and everything you've got, and to eventually to attempt to treat you like a straw person, to apply for benefits in your name, insurance in your name, in order to exploit them and to exploit you sexually in a syndicated run environment, including your child. Yes, That's not including the non-consensual human experimentation that happens to you because they have technology from a remote distance that they use. This is a book here called The Invisible Crime. Do you notice the neural implant inside this guy's head? Organized stalking is mentioned extensively and throughout this entire book. This is another book concerning being gang stalking. Oh, sorry, that was the wrong book. This is a neural implant in this guy's head. Gang stalking is mentioned in this book, but it's called organized stalking in this book. Organized stalking and gang stalking are the same exact identical crime, just being called by different names. Okay? Mike Fitzhugh-Bell wrote this book. I strongly suggest you buy it. This book right here literally has gang stalking mentioned in the title of the book. How it's happening to a post employee because they're targeting her for her home. Yes, for her home and probably for eventual sexual exploitation. And probably because she's going to eventually get a pension from the post office. And I've seen other targeted individuals from the post office who are... See, because what they're doing is they're going after people that got locked incomes. People on disability. People that had pensions, 401ks, trust funds. Yes. Because once they get syndicated probate control of you, they can co-opt your finances, your property. It's organized crime in the system. It's racketeering, insurance fraud, and sexual servitude rings. Along with non-consensual human experimentation because they make money off the research. Yes. And if they can put you, if they can enter your home while you're sleeping, do you honestly think they can't enter your room once they put you in a group home to neurally implant you? They can. Trust me. You can go to the bottom of Freedom from Covert Harassment and Surveillance. Look on the bottom of their homepage. There's 3 PDF links at the very bottom of it. Remote neural monitoring being one, remote behavioral influencing technology being the second, directed energy weapons being the third. If you go into a business and a business employee starts harassing you, starts engaging in organized stalking, gang stalking, sensitization methods towards you, and you already know it's being done deliberately by then, okay, because you've already been sensitized to these physical gestures, words, phrases, or even specific types of sounds, like specific ways of coughing, clearing a person's throat, clearing their nose, even sneezing. They sensitize targets to everyday things that everyday people do, so their harassment can blend in with the environment. Yes. And so you can be called crazy if they can ever provoke you for acting out as a result of you being subjected to what you're sensitized to by them, using different people in the community to do it. Yes. And they will even literally put a duped community member in the community to do these things around you based on a lie and put them in harm's danger. Because if a targeted individual who has no idea about what's happening to them, who just got assaulted 2 days before by them, might act out as a result, because when this targeted individual was assaulted, these sensitization methods were going on around them, even by the person who assaulted them. 2 days later, if they go into a grocery store and a person's doing it around them, they think they're going to be assaulted again and might act out. But the person who's doing it around them on that given day could just be a duped community member who's been lied to about the target. That's how heinous the manager of these expeditions, he has no regard at all for human life. If they will target the infant of a targeted individual just to make sure that the targeted individual, who's the parent of that infant, feels the torture as a result of them witnessing their infant being targeted with the technologies, the microwave technologies that are on board in these campaigns. See, what they'll do is torture the infant of a target, if a parent has a kid and it's an infant, they'll literally subject that infant to microwave weapons. Yes, because the mother and the parent who's being targeted will come to understand that what's happening to their infant is a direct result of their perpetrators who are doing this to them. In turn, that heightens the torture of them because they're seeing their precious infant being tortured. This is how heinous these individuals are. Microwave technology in this book. Technology and gang stalking, electronic torture, electronic rape. Electronic torture, electronic rape. Electronic rape has to do with the phantom touch that's in the remote neural monitoring file. So if you're in a grocery store, okay, and you notice things going on around you and you've already been gaslighted by the management or employees or security staff of that plaza, understand this and be clear. They're going to eventually try to ban you by staging an incident to provoke you to act out, and then accuse you of being either a threat to yourself or others, or crazy, or on drugs or something. Yes. and they will either ban you physically, call security to do it, or call the police, or all three to ban you. And why is this being done? This is being done to make you feel mentally raped, to wear you out mentally and psychologically and emotionally, to wear you out financially, because now you got to go to a further distance to get your food your needs met for food. But why is this also being done? Because say if you've been gang stalked for the last 45 days in one specific area, okay? Listen to this following statement, because it's going to apply, and it's going to make sense to you once you're done hearing it. Go to Google and type in live leak Greg Szymanski and Julian McKinney. Live leak broadcast. Live leak Greg Szymanski and Julian McKinney. It's a radio interview that's online. The radio interview and the text summary that's written concerning the radio interview flat out states that the people that they're getting to harass a target on the dispensing ends are the ones who are currently being neurally choreographed. Go to YouTube and type in John Hall Satellite Terrorism and listen to every single one of his videos. Every single one of them. Now, if Julian McKinney, who's even mentioned in the resources feature of either the first or second PDF link that's at the bottom of Freedom from Covert Harassment and Surveillance, okay, she's given this radio interview, and she worked in the she was in the Army. She worked in the departments that was in control of these microwave technologies, okay, that are being used in organized stalking, gang stalking expeditions. She flat out states that the ones that they're currently neurally choreographing are the people that are harassing a target on the dispensing end. Okay? Now, if you've been harassed by, say, 200 people in a 6-month time period in one location, say if a person goes to a Ralph's or an Albertson or a Vons or a Kroger's, one or two specific grocery stores for the last 6 months. Just those two specific grocery stores, and then maybe one or two specific CVS businesses for the last 6 months. And as a result of that person going to those grocery stores, those only two grocery stores and the CVS for the last 6 months, you have been harassed by anywhere between 50 to at least 100, 200 people just at those two locations every time you went there for the last 6 months. Those people, were they being neurally choreographed as they were harassing you? Well, those people more than likely live in the community of those businesses that you've been harassed at by them. They were told to go to these businesses to harass you. Now, you being the bullseye, the person that they told them to get around you to harass, those people more than likely live in that area. And if they're going to be future targets, they want you out of that area, so once they become targets, okay, they'll never put it together in their mind that it might possibly be connected back to what they were told to do around you. So them causing you to move from one location to another is not just done to wear the target out physically, emotionally, mentally, and financially, because it costs money to move. But it's also to get you out of the area concerning where you were harassed at, because the people you were harassed by, at least 80% of them, okay, at least 80% of them live in the area you were harassed in. And if they're going to become eventual targeted individuals, okay, they're going to be harassed in different ways that they were told to harass you. Which means that they're not going to be able to connect anything in their mind unless they possibly see a person that they were told to do something strange towards. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying? They don't want anybody to be able that they're going to target in the future to be able to come back and if they got somebody to harass me using physical gestures, like with their hand, their arm, because pointing, stretching the arm out and pointing, okay, is one of the things that they tell target people that they get to harass a target to do. Now, if you went to Scientific America at the December 2012 issue, it talks about how the brain has been neurally magnetic resonance imaging has been taken of the brain. Magnetic resonance imaging is mentioned throughout the entire remote neural monitoring file and the remote behavioral influencing technology file. On the front cover of Scientific America magazine, December 2012 edition, is the picture of the magnetic resonance imaging of a brain. Right next to it, the title of that article concerning the brain says, physical gestures and language areas of the brain have been brain mapped. Yes, they have. Now, every single thing that a targeted individual experiences as a result of being a victim of gang stalking by innocent duped community members is two different things: language and physical gestures. What do you got here? UCSD Brain Mapping Center. Okay? Why am I telling you all these things? Well, think about this. If they get an individual to get around me or any other targeted individual and tell them to point, what are they doing? That's a motor cortex associated behavior. Moving the arm and the hand out. Moving the arm and the hand out. Remember what I talked about in the first video about how these individuals will stage events to cause a target to act out to try and provoke a target? Well, if these individuals that they're getting to do these things around a target are going to be eventual targets, then they're going to eventually try to get them to act out. So are they brain mapping? If they've already brain mapped physical gestures, pointing, putting the arm all the way out, extending it out, what would be the purpose of that? To literally neurally map the motor cortex function of taking your hand out and bringing it all the way out. And what does that resemble? What does that resemble? From the pointing to a punch. And if they make these individuals targets themselves 6 months, 1 year, 2 years down the road, and they have got their brain mapped in reference to that specific motor cortex command and physiological signal that sends it to it, they can easily provoke a target and stimulate that arm to come out. And if you don't believe me, check this out. Go to YouTube and type in Timothy W. Bioethics Issues. He talks about brain entrainment and neurocognitive weapons. Then listen closely to the videos that are on the sidebar, who are speaking in front of the President's Bioethics Commission. If you listen to enough of them, you will hear targeted individuals talk about how they can make you trip, how they can move your body movements without your own control. Yes. So, if they're setting up prison industrial complexes and detention centers to treat people like straw people, to provoke them to act out, to put them in prison, jails, or group homes, they got to make it appear that they're being arrested and being labeled as being crazy or a threat to themselves or others, is to be able to control their body while they're put in an immediate, provocative situation by the people who will gang stalk them. And as that's occurring towards them, remember the pointing, controlling their arm. What is that? A punch. If that person is harassed by people and being neurally influenced, motor cortex associated behaviors of moving their arm and their hand to hit someone, to hit another individual who's been targeted to harass them, who will eventually become a target. That person gets hit, that person gets sent to jail, and the one who got hit will eventually become a target as well. Do you see what I'm saying? My name is Leslie Williams. I'm in San Diego, California. If you don't think that everything that I just stated to you in this video is a possible reality, investigate it, and then you will come to understand that it's a factual reality. Alright, now hang on a second. Alright, now I only got a few minutes left because this video camera stops videoing after 29 minutes. So I'm going to give you some other examples of what physical gestures. Now, they're told to get around targets and say specific words. Every time you say a specific kind of word, a certain area of your brain lights up. Remember the scientific article? Every time you say any kind of specific, because the brain area controls each specific type of word. You can go to YouTube and type in Leslie Stahl and mind reading. Watch that video. And you'll see that the computer in the brain lights up in different regions when different words are said. So if these individuals got technology like remote neural monitoring, the neural phone, surveillance issues, what's labeled on surveillanceissues.com, and possibly even, like Macy Monroe mentioned, HARP. Go to Google and type in Macy Monroe, congressional candidate, 28th District, Beverly Hills, California. They targeted her. Okay, what's on priority number 2? Priority number 2 of her candidacy website. She talks about the 13th Amendment, slavery, brain entrainment, neurocognitive weapons for neural enslavement, for slavery. That's where the human trafficking comes into play at. So, if the brain can be monitored as these people that they're told to get around any targeted individual and say a certain word or phrase, or to tell them to engage in a certain physical gesture, as they're doing this, is their brain being monitored. Now, Julian McKinney flat out states that the people they're getting to harass a target on the dispensing end are currently being neurally choreographed. They're not being told to harass a target in specific ways for no reason. Scientific America, language and physical gestures. 98% of everything that a targeted individual experiences by the duped community members they get to harass a target are physical gestures and language. I'm in San Diego, California. My name is Leslie Williams. If they get a teenager to do this, who's only 15 or 16 years old, if they dupe them to harass a target using language or physical gestures, what's going to happen to them by their next birthday? Because they're possibly being gnarly choreographed by a third party who got them to do it. And who got them to do it? Who got them to get them to do it? The only thing that I can do, fellow American citizens and fellow Californians, fellow La Jollans and fellow San Diegoans, is to tell you the truth. If you knew what I know, you would come to understand the factual realities concerning these criminal expeditions. 92% of all targeted individuals are made homeless. We're called crazy when we're not at all. We're targets ourselves. And we're treated like animals. We're trapped in real time like animals. We're treated like animals. We're assaulted. Go to YouTube and type in learning disabled woman brutally assaulted on an MTS bus. Look at that video. The back door is on the wrong side of the bus. The rail that holds the mirror is on the wrong side of the bus and the mirror is backwards. Why would MTS send me an altered video? They don't mind sending me a video of me being assaulted, but they alter it. Excuse me. Why would they do that? Think about it. They don't mind sending a video of me being assaulted, but they alter it. Why would they do that unless they were involved in the assault? And why are me and the person who assaulted me sitting on the wrong side of the bus that we were really sitting on before and during the assault, when the assault happened? The day that assault happened, in reference to the video should be showing me and the perpetrator sitting on the opposite side of the bus. So why did they do that? You can go to Google and type in learning disabled woman describes or exposes why MTS assault video is altered. Alright, I'm in San Diego, California. I gotta go. My name is Leslie Williams. I make these videos to inform, to expose the truth concerning the factual realities of these organized stalking expeditions. And when you look at a video of me being assaulted, I took every punch that I took for fellow targets and future targets of this crime. That's right, because that's undisputable evidence that this was a staged assault. Why won't the San Diego police investigate that fact that that video is altered? Eric Pearson, a university professor over at USD, who's a professor in communications that specializes in videos and images, he saw that assault video online and posted it on First Post. So why won't the San Diego police or the San Diego District Attorney's Office investigate the fact that MTS sent me an altered video? It's obstruction of justice because that video is materials of discovery. It's evidence. That's right. So why won't they investigate it? At the beginning of this video, I told you that organized crime in the system is perpetrating these crimes. Look in the description of that YouTube video of me being assaulted. You will see a blog. Click on it. And then once you get into it, go to the attached PDF link that's in it titled Assault 11. You will see that I predicted that assault 11 days before it occurred in an email file. My name is Leslie Williams. I make these videos to inform, to expose the truth. Go to YouTube and type in John Hall Satellite Terrorism. Go to Google and type in surveillanceissues.com. Go to Freedom from Covert Harassment and Surveillance in the very, very bottom of their homepage. Look at the 3 PDF links. And then go to Google and type in bugsweep.com. I'm in San Diego, California. My name is Leslie Williams. I make these videos to inform, to expose the truth. And in closing, go to Google and type in Scientific America, December 2012. And look at what's on the front cover of that particular issue and what's said concerning the article concerning what's on the cover of it. And then cross-reference the information, scrutinize it, and come to understand the factual realities concerning it. Thank you.